Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. This is episode 479 of the Ping Pong Flix Show. Aloha Friday. Usually Fridays I don't talk about anything, but there's so much updates now, and I'm planning on another kind of work trip next week, so I better kind of just catch up on this. First things first, though, the Batman. Apparently, there are new details about Batmobile and costume reportedly revealed. This is according to a new report from the fan site Batman on Film. We all know how we feel about Bill. Jay Oliva is like arch nemesis on Twitter. We should be getting a glimpse at both the costume and the vehicle very soon. They also indicate that a new Batsuit will be unlike the other costumes that have appeared on film thus far, but they'll very much be in line with the kind of costume Batman fans should come to expect. The report indicates that Pattinson's Bruce Wayne will be solely responsible for the suit, meaning that it won't have all of the gadgetry and high-tech features of a Wayne Industries costume, but will instead be cobbled together through his own resources. As for the Batmobile, we should be getting a glimpse of that soon as filming continues to take place in public places. While we've yet to see it yet, this report indicates the iconic Batman will be unlike what Batman drove in the Dark Knight trilogy. Those movies featured a tank-like vehicle developed for military applications. But it sounds like Pattinson will be driving something that's more akin to a muscle car. The vehicle will have its own upgrades, naturally, so that Batman is better equipped to disable the bad guys in high-speed chases, but the report also states that it will not be as stylized as the Tim Burton and Joel Schumacher versions of the Batmobile. So, still don't know much about the film. The cast is going to have some table reads, as according to, Robert Pattinson in some interviews, and also, Colin Farrell as the Penguin, saying the script is wonderful, it's beautiful. But anything like that. It's just high praises, and usually, actors do that as well. But it is getting closer and closer to the Batsuit reveal, which I'm really interested in. But the the Batmobile is also interesting. I mean, when someone put this video out, this is essentially a muscle car. And can you imagine Robert Pattinson's Batman showing up in the Gotham streets like that, like Nick Lander is saying right here, right? It would be pretty awesome if he's driving around John Wick style. Then that is pretty damn intense, and I think that would be pretty cool. It would be really different indeed, and it really show like his is more about skill rather than gadgets and things like that, and also the fact that it is going to be a more noir type film, at least that's what they're still saying, and a detective story, so it will be more on the detective aspect of Batman rather than the gadgety James Bond style Batman, but we'll still have a pretty nice sweet muscle car. So that's kind of cool, that's different, that's something that we could essentially look forward to as well. Now, speaking of action, there is a DC film movie coming out next month, and we're finally getting a little bit more of a glimpse of the action in this one 16-second take on the action. But let me know what you think about this. Let's watch it together.
I was really just kind of...
So you certainly see the the action elements that you usually see in a Chad Stahelski John Wick movie, right? And I like to say that it's very choreographed, like very to the point, like where you can kind of tell the bad guys are actually falling into it rather than reacting to an actual punch or a kick, and I mean, real quickly, you can kind of tell that, which is fine because in John Wick 3, you can start to see that as well. John Wick 1 and 2, actually, John Wick 1 was very visceral and felt very real. Like the hits were really connecting and they're feeling the impact. John Wick 2 also felt that. But as I watch John Wick 3 over again, and you can kind of see some of that stuff happening here and there, and maybe, a little bit more choreographed and reactionary than what I'm used to in John Wick 1 and 2. And it could possibly be the same for here. Now, I've seen some of the snippets of action within the trailers and the teasers. They look great. This is the first time you get to see an actual 16-second, I'll turn off the sound so you can watch this, 16-second, just a little bit of the actions going. I like how it goes through a one-shot take. I'm hoping there's going to be more one-shot takes instead of, and that's what kind of like about DC in a way. They actually do have a lot of those takes where you actually see it fighting without just cutting, like some poor action movies like, I don't know, Captain Marvel, where you actually see the fighting takes place. You actually see the skill, the actresses here doing the actual stunts, doing the actual action on a one-shot take, meaning you're seeing them react to things without having the camera cut back and forth, and it's so weird when they do that, and it just shows that they don't really know, they're not really doing the action scenes. But in this case, the girls are really doing the action scenes here, and that part I can really commend on that, and so hoping you see a lot more one-shot takes, and I think we're going to have some of that as well. So pretty cool. You also do see, I don't have it here, but you do see behind the scenes where Cathy Yan is directing these actions, so you actually showing her being involved. Like you hear about Cathy Yan, and very rare you actually see her on set, but there's been a lot of videos been released so far. We actually see her directing people on set, pictures of her actually interacting with the actresses, so I'm very happy for that. For anybody who thinks that this is not a Cathy Yan film can go ahead and take a look at that. She's still the director. You see her on set. She's actually doing things, and it's not taken over by Chad Stahelski. So there are some cool things about that in any case. But Birds of Prey comes out next month, and get pretty excited for that. I mean, we're not the only ones excited, apparently. David Ayer is also excited for it. He put this on the Instagram in terms of supporting Birds of Prey. He put a little prayer here. He retweeted that out, what DC Movie page had put out, being a very supportive king on Instagram for Birds of Prey. And there were some little things, because there's so much things coming out for Birds of Prey right now, little here and there explaining why Joker is not necessary. They made a conscious call not to include him in the movie, and make it all about Harley Quinn centric and about the girls, centric on the girls rather than relationships and stuff like that. That's just the way they want to do things, and that's fine. That's awesome. But there's a lot of things coming out for Birds of Prey, but at this point I just feel like I need to watch the movie already and give her opinion on the actual movie than trying to guess what's going to happen in that movie at this point, because it's so close. February 7th, we're going to get to watch Birds of Prey, finally a new DC film. It feels like been a long time since we had one, and so because Shazam was like last year, early last year, and technically Joker is not really a DCEU DC film. It's its own entity, it's its own thing. So Birds of Prey, finally we're getting back into the universe, even though it's not truly connected, like really here's part one, part two, even though Margot Robbie says that we get to see what happens after the first Suicide Squad. Like, a lot of time had passed, and for some reason they're broken in a relationship. So in a way, she's kind of saying it's a connected in that way, so you can almost kind of pretty much this is a kind of a sequel to Suicide Squad, David Ayer's Suicide Squad. So keep that in mind when you watch the movie, and let me know what you think about that. But it is still Cathy Yan's movie, and that's the kind of thing we should be supporting. Now, indeed, the director gets to give her own thoughts and feelings and her own character into the film, because that's what we want to do. We want to be able to support artistic creative integrities, and it should be no different whether it's David Ayer, Zack Snyder, or even Cathy Yan. So there's that. Now, I want to get into the core characters though, and since we have the Birds of Prey, I just said this yesterday that this could be a good opportunity for people to ask Christina Hodson, who is the writer of Andy Muschietti's The Flash, to talk a little bit about The Flash. Of course, she can't say much, and I apologize for sound here. She can't say much, but this is what she had to say at least. Honestly, there's so little I'm allowed to say about Flash. Hodson said, "I will tell you that for me, the reasons to do it now is because I love it. I'm having a blast working on it, and that is about all I'm allowed to say," which is good. We want someone to have be passionate over everything. Of course, she's not going to say I'm not going to be passionate about it, but still, yeah, it's great to see her say that. Now, I want to go into the other parts in this article that she talked about in terms of DC. Actually, when they're talking about how she connected with DC and about over Birds of Prey, she said, well, actually, this Birds of Prey was the first one, the writer explained. So I started working on this with Margot 4.5 years ago, and this was how I got to know the folks at DC. This began with this one. But honestly, I have too many good things to say about the guys at DC, obviously. I've worked with them a lot. They're so great and really supportive of the talent that they work with. They let us play, they let us find fun things, they let us fall in love with characters and then use them. I will work with them forever if they'll have me. High praise for DC. Honestly, a lot of it is DC itself is overseeing it, added Hodson. Obviously, there's been a change in leadership there. Walter Hamada really knows what he's doing. He's so good at his job, and he has a real love for these characters and for this material. So it's looking to him more than anything. And obviously, with a lot of us, we've got to know each other, especially the writers. We're all friends now, which is lovely. We read each other's stuff and help each other. But yeah, mostly it's going through Walt and DC. So that is an indication. This is the first time we're hearing more about Walter Hamada's involvement. You know, we had the little thing about Crisis on Infinite Earths, how Jim Lee is kind of running. The first time we're hearing Jim Lee even being involved in any of the DC film projects. This is kind of one of the first times where a writer and they're name dropping Walter Hamada, saying he's instrumental in this kind of things, right? It's very intriguing, it's very interesting to hear this. Walter Hamada, Jim Lee. I just love it that there's an absence of Toby Emmerich in this thing, just to let you know. So, I mean, I don't know if in this regards this is being a strong will and saying that Walter Hamada is actually doing things that are in a certain fashion that is actually assisting the DCEU and assisting the directors and creatives to make the movies that they want to make. It does appear so. It does seem so. Because Kevin Sujihara is gone. For people who want to really see connectivity, you'll probably not get too much of that if they're really letting directors do their thing, but that's fine. It's different. It's letting it breathe. They're able to have more more ways to tell the story without being involved in a certain rating and being hampered down by having connective tissue and things like that. If say Kathy Yan wanted to make Birds of Prey 2 and 3 or whatever in her own little Birds of Prey sandbox, that's great. That's just like how Zack Snyder is able to do his Snyderverse in his little sandbox. That's great. It's all fun and fantastic. So, but I'm kind of happy to actually see that Walter Hamada is actually a little bit doing part of it. He's not just a name in there. It seems like he is getting in there and trying to make it work, which is great. That's part of his job. He's not just a puppet for Toby Emmerich. That could be too, but I'm still very optimistic to see what Walter can pull off. But I'm also optimistic to see what Jim Lee, being involved in it, can also pull off. And I'm thinking Jim Lee is the DC aspect that she's talking about here. Jim Lee is DC, Walter Hamada is the film aspect. So both of them will be headed up with Christina Hodson and Andy Muschietti to work on The Flash. And it seems like it's so far going well. And it seems like they're pretty happy with Christina Hodson to the point that she may start writing other pieces in in the DC universe more so. Maybe past Batgirl. But we'll see what happens with that. Speaking of Flash, Flash is in another movie, and that is the Justice League. There's a couple things that came out for Justice League. Not too much revealing. We're still having that Justice League fan poster contest that Zack Snyder has officially announced yesterday. But I wanted to share this. This is from the Zack Snyder Bible. Stunt coordinator Matt Rugetti shares apparent Justice League Batmobile versus Parademon concept footage. Check this out. Obviously toys. But listen to the music for a second. I don't know where this music is from. Am I the only one thinking, like, where did he get this music from? Is this indicative of what was composed already? So it does look like these are supposed to be representative of the parademons. And I just noticed that now. Pretty cool the way it just blows up like that. Blows up. I mean, Batman was wrecking shop there. Of course, this is just concept. There are some scenes that here you kind of recognize him doing kind of in the actual movie. Of course, maybe this chase scene was supposed to be even longer in the Justice League Snyder cut. But it's great to see these stunt coordinators, these stunt people sharing more footage, concept footage, stunts, just to give us an idea of what's supposed to transpire in this. And like I said, this is a cool song. This is a cool track. I felt like I heard this before, so this might actually be from another movie. But in any case, great, awesome footage. And speaking about art and things about Justice League, the Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, just fan poster event is still going on. Try to submit whatever you can do if you want to participate to ZSJL fan posters at the Twitter account or even the Vero account. And as they get it in, and they'll post it up over here on Twitter. Looks like they've been getting a lot of submissions. There's some that I've seen that they haven't even got to yet, but I want to share a lot of it right now. Just give this opportunity to show. We're presenting. We're trying to get the Snyder Cut released because that's Zack Snyder's art, and it just seemed fair that I share some of the art that other artists have done, especially the one like right here, which I'll get into. But just to go through it, Aaron Bailey. This is a great one. He has not yet risen. I've seen this one before a lot of times, so I'm hoping this is the actual creator. I'm pretty sure it is. Cash Riot. I guess that's supposed to be either representative of the Flash or Darkseid, possibly, right? Omega Beams. Megan. She's got one of here. Simple but effective. Indeed, it's got all the different heroes over here. William Smith, Steppenwolf in the background. Nice poster there. Great stuff. Kunal's got, you see Darkseid in the background. This kind of reminds me of God of War, and I think that's the whole point behind it. Simple but effective. We can be heroes just for one day. Yeah, I mean, that was for maybe the last final trailer for Justice League, which was I really did enjoy, but I don't I don't know if that's going to be even be supposed to be part of the movie or even part of a trailer at any case. But Zack Snyder's Justice League, still good though. I mean, I still like that, so I still have that track. These are some good ones here. Unite the League, all the different heroes here. Kunal coming out with more stuff. Looks like Darkseid and Steppenwolf in the background. More of that as well. Cool stuff. Zack Snyder's Justice League. Release the Snyder Cut. See Darkseid right there. it just inspires you, Kenneth Hoggins, with an actual drawing. And it just kind of inspires you to try to make a poster. And maybe I will do one. I'm not that good with, Photoshop or anything like that. But maybe, in any case, maybe might be able to throw one up there. Zack Snyder himself on a poster. That's cool. Okay, this one I've seen before because I think that was an actual. This is an actual edit. It was an actual fan edit, fan film, fan cut. Zack Snyder's Justice League. This one was pretty cool. Zack Snyder's Justice League here. Well, this one, seek this monument in the background. Well, that's nice. That's different. If you seek his monument, look around, and that's Superman flying up there, floating up there. Got there. That's the All the Gods T-shirt. What we believe is the entire Justice League saga presented to us. Oh, these are nice. See, people are so creative. This back. Oh, it's like a comic book. How you like that? That's interesting. I think I've seen this video. I think I've seen that little video of her waving. Justice League. Oh, you got Benjamin Hunt here as I think that's him as Green Lantern, or purportedly Green Lantern. Of course, the black suit, the Henry Cavill tease of the black suit. Very simple, but like I said, effective. I love the black and white. I love that the red eyes show up and everything else is black and white. That's awesome. So there's been a lot. There's been quite a bit of submissions so far. There has been some that I've seen were shared to me that I kind of liked as well. Chris Mendes sent me this, and he posted it over there too. Stronger United Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's an awesome one as well. Dynamo also shared one with me as well. This is Dark Side. They're staring at Dark Side, Zack's JL Justice League. I saw that he submitted that, so hopefully they put that one up as well. And finally, one of the best ones I've seen, and it's just because Seven Samurai is one of my favorite movies. That's why I have it here. Justice League, directed by Zack Snyder, Seven Samurai style, where you see Kikuchiyo in front and everybody else in the background. I guess he's that character essentially. I would think this would probably be Batman more than him, but that's fine. It's okay. It's cool. It's one of the cooler ones I've seen. Seven Samurai-esque, and I always thought Justice League was supposed to be that, a Seven Samurai epic, and this made it much more cooler. So going down as one of my favorite posters so far, and hope to see a lot more. This is going to be pretty fantastic as we get closer and closer. I'm still wondering what that prize is. I'm still wondering what Zack's going to do with the fan poster he chooses. What could happen with that? Would he take that, or would he take a kind of spruce it up a little, or he would just what is he going to do with it? Is it more than just saying, hey, here's a prize? And this is just me guessing at any point what is going to happen on February 14th. Are we just going to have a prize winner and things like that? Is this a start of something pretty substantial, pretty big? I mean, this is already pretty big for Zack Snyder to actually announce this type of fan event for Zack Snyder's Justice League. So I'm really, really excited. I think not only we have Birds of Prey, we also have this fan event that's happening, and as we get closer and closer to, yes, Valentine's Day, but also the big number 214. 14. So get excited. Even RT Snyder is saying get excited. Everybody's saying get excited. And I am really, really getting excited. I cannot wait to see what happens as we get closer and closer to 214. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. Continue. If you are an artist, go ahead and submit to ZSJL fan posters, right? ZSJL fan posters. Submit your artwork, submit whatever you can if you want to participate in this. It's a pretty big event. If you have any, you don't even have, you just create what you want to create. And if it inspires you to make art, I think that's automatically a win, right? It just spruces your creativity to want to try something, right? And so, like I initially said, I'm out. I really suck at this, but I feel compelled and inspired to create something, and it kind of says a lot. It inspires people to do something, right? It, like the movement inspired people to come up and rise up as a collective and unite to get this Snyder Cut released. So it's pretty cool how many parts of this movement, these events, inspire people to do something, inspire to voice out your own feelings and things like that. So really exciting stuff. It's really cool to see us come together in these types of ordeals and get your creative juices kind of just flowing, right? So yeah, you know what, I may just participate. I haven't got the slightest clue what I'm gonna do, but it's probably going to be terrible and ugly, but I don't care. At least it's coming from me. And you know what? Zack's going to look at every single one of these guys. Zack Snyder is going to look at every single one of these ones that you submit to ZSJL fan posters. Hey, if you want him to see you, let him see your work. So yeah, get to creating. Deadline is February 7th, and then the winner will be chosen February 14th. But within the coming days, I think Zack is actually going to post up what you get to win when he chooses your poster. All right, guys. Well, that is it. Have a great, wonderful weekend. Just letting you know, I have some things to do tomorrow night, Saturday night. I know that's our live chat night, so depending on how long that goes, I may or may not do a live chat. I apologize in advance. Also, I won't be doing a video on Sunday night. That's where I fly out to as I get to Seattle and then to Virginia for work. And so yeah, it's going to be a wild one. And after that, if I do any updates, which I probably will, it will be in a nice hotel room over hopefully I can work out the audio issues. But in any case, yeah, but anyway, that's it. All right, we'll have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.